Okay, so hi everybody. This is Areli. I am taking a deep breath. I've been just having my eyes open more than ever, and I hope that your eyes and your mind and everything in between gets awakened and understands the need to use alternatives at your home. And if you have done the transition where you use alternatives at home, great. I really encourage you to keep on going. It is the best thing that you can do. I think if I would, there's one thing in the Bible that says, that just something that I read there in between. I said, we got to go back to basics. And so back to basics not only is talking about spiritual life, but the basics is when you're having your first love with God and you're having whatever. I don't want to get a lot into that, but I do want to say that going back to basics is going back to nature to me. I'm not a nature person, but I can say with this information that I've been learning, I am very grateful for every single shrub, plant, tree, palm tree, whatever you call it, grass. And I'm mostly grateful that we have essential oils. We have the extracts of all these things that I just named in those little bottles that we have. So I'm very grateful that we carry that around with us, because one thing that I have learned, and I'm learning right now as I'm gonna be teaching you today, sharing with you today what I've learned today during these days about another toxic chemical that is a tongue twister to my mouth. But I do want to share that with you. I was going to share with you other ingredients that can be harmful, but you know what? The list is very extensive, and it would take me a very long time to get through every single one and actually get through the research on its own. So I think these are enough to pique your interest and see where you can start making those changes in your lifestyle. Remember, Young Living is not about only essential oils, it's about a lifestyle. And so while, sometimes life demands us to do lifestyles drastically and quickly, other times we have the benefit of doing it gradually. So in light of that, if you're one of those persons that are doing it gradually, congratulations. If you're one of those persons that did it like overnight because you really had to and you noticed that it was a must in your health, great, that's awesome. So the topic for this week was air fresheners versus diffusers and such things, and the air we breathe basically. In light of that, if before I had some kind of light shining upon me about what we use at home, well, now there's more light shining in me, and all these things are spinning in my head. I'm thinking of things that I can switch to or remove, or switch them from Young Living products and so on. So yeah, and other things that I will be sharing afterwards. So to get into the topic, like I said, I'm not going to cover any other ingredients because it would go on forever. But the one that I want to concentrate today is the last one, and the following video that you will see, which is on Friday, it will be talking about your choices, your alternatives, what you can do to swap things, which things you should be like, how can you use your diffuser to replace those things if you choose to replace those things. And I actually do challenge you. I challenge you to start swapping things from your house. Like if you're not already using your diffuser, start swapping it. Start doing alternative things. I challenge you to do that. It's a challenge for your health and for your family. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and talk about the information that I got today. Do you see the light in my background? But that's how the light is shining in my brain and my eyesight as I read these articles this time. It was eye-opening. Okay, so according to this website is called, and I will give you the links to all these websites that I've gone to. Should you decide later on to go ahead and do further your education, by all means do it. There's plenty out there. You can, look for those. Just make sure that whatever link you're looking at, it's a verified and trusted link. Don't just go into opinions of people or whatever. Just make sure that it's verified. Okay. So the link that I went to is called www.ncbi.nlm.nih.gov. And the article of this, the name of this article is Indoor Air Quality, Scented Products that Emit a Bouquet or an Array of VOCs. And VOCs is basically, let me see if I'm saying this right, volatile compound chemicals. Okay, so there is a difference for those of you that are scientists or that know a little bit of science. I'm not, so I'm just kind of explaining a little bit of what I understood. There's a difference between chemicals and toxic chemicals. So, having said that, let me go back to my information. There's 3 different types of comments here. One is a researcher. Her name is Anne Steinman. The other one is the Environmental Protection Agency, and the last one is the Consumer Product Safety Commission. Okay, so all of these have been inputting their information, and have in mind also that this article was written in 2011. From there to now, it's been 7 or 8 years. So there has been changes, but again, if the labels have not been from your products that you use are not properly displayed as the ingredients that they use, then it hasn't changed much. So I did find articles that I newer, and it said very similar to this, so I just stuck to this one. Okay, so according to a survey that of selected scented consumers goods showed that products emitted over more than 100 volatile organic compounds, which is the VOCs, VOCs. Let's see. And what shocked me, and that's one thing that I wanted to mention to you guys, what shocked me is that it even included things that are labeled natural, organic. Okay, and so it brought to my mind one occasion where I went to a known organic place, that sells Whole Foods and all that stuff. So I went into the store, and that's what, it's been years, that's when I started to look for alternatives. And I remember that I was so trusting in that store. I had a lot of trust at the store, so whatever I just went in there and got, I thought that it was clean because it was a clean store. So this reminded me of that situation. Time after I kept on going to the store, there was one instance where I decided that I wanted to check the ingredients on a specific item that I was gonna get. I had already bought it before, but I've never actually paid attention to the ingredients because I trusted that store. So I suddenly just checked the back of that specific item, and I realized then, as I had my phone with me, so I was Googling and kind of going in through definition of specific words that I didn't even understand. So I noticed that that specific item, that it was super expensive, was not 100% clean, and that had things that I didn't want my kids or myself to consume. So where do you go? Where do you buy your stuff? What do you do? So I'm not saying don't trust your stores. I'm not saying don't go to the stores. Nowadays, even like stores like, major chains, stores, I don't want to mention names, but nowadays they also carry, organic or clean stuff, which is great. They're opening their window to the stuff that the people are demanding now, which a few years ago that wasn't even open. So it's just great. But my thing is, be a consumer product aware person. Um, uh, we're not going to be researchers. I know that we're not. We're not going to be, that type of person that's going to be, thinking about compounds and all this stuff. No, but do your thing. Back then, years ago, when my kids were very little, we used to go to a program. It was a government program, and they would tell us, read your labels in your cereals. What are you giving your children? So in that same sense, I urge you guys to go into the stores, wherever stores you go, read your labels. Be a consumer aware person. See what you're getting and compare. And one of the things that I want to stress out is that being part of, I guess I have to do this short advertisement. I didn't want to, I wasn't looking for it, but it comes to say that there's a reason, again, why I have been an active consumer with Young Living. Because I've noticed that the products that I've been consuming, most of the times I would say that I've been looking at their ingredients and such things, and I can't say that I have found toxicity in them for my family. I mean, to be this long enough in the company is because I've been trusting enough this company. And to know that we have the right components, the right company, the right farms, the right care, that's a lot of great stuff that you're getting out of this place. So here's my short commercial. Sorry. Okay, so going back to the study. So there, be conscious about your choices. And so Anne Steinman, which she is a professor of civil and environmental engineering and public affairs in the University of Washington, Seattle. And she gathered together with some colleagues and she did some testing, weird wording testing, whatever. And they tested about 25 air fresheners. And in that testing, they also decided to include laundry detergents, fabric softeners, dryer sheets, disinfectants, dishwashing detergents, all-purpose cleaners, hand sanitizers, lotions, deodorants, shampoos, the list goes on. All the stuff that we use for our household, basically. Okay, so they bumped everything together and they started testing. Okay, so what they've discovered and what they did, they actually discovered is that to create one, we love those dryer sheets with the nice scent, and we love the whatever we plug into the walls or whatever the lotions with the nice scent, stuff like that, the shampoo with the nice scent at the end, all these scents. So it is, according to the research, a single fragrance in a product can contain a mixture of hundreds of chemicals, okay? And the problem is not the chemicals. The problem is that when all these chemicals react with the ozone in the air. So when they react in that sense, they connect, they cause dangerous secondary pollutants. And in that listing of pollutants, one of them is formaldehyde, something like that. FORMALDHYDE. Hopefully you can pronounce it. Okay, so it says that the researchers detected 133 different VOCs, which is the volatile chemical components. Okay, and from that, from those VOCs, the average number of VOCs per product that was emitted, it was 17. Out of those, in each product, it emitted about 1 to 8 toxic or hazardous chemicals. So, and it was also close to half, around 44%, that generated at least 1 through 24 carcinogenic hazardous air pollutant. Now that, my friends, it is alarming. I think it is alarming. I mean, why do we need to have things in our household that are going to potentially cause cancers? So you think about that, okay? These hazardous air pollutants have no safe exposure level, and this is according to the USA in 2011. So at that point, there was no classification. This is what I understood. There was no classification of how hazardous these things were. There was no level of classification. So I know, hopefully, that you have gone through the link that I left you in the previous post. I hope that you have gone there, because it does give you, that's a current website, and it gives you like a lettering level of hazardness in the products that we use. And the link that I sent you was for air fresheners, but everything's in there. Shampoo, everything that we just mentioned, they're all in there. So you are more than welcome to go and check that out, and you get your information going in your mind. Okay, the Environmental Protection Agency said that this was shocking to me. And again, I go back to the story that I just told you earlier. The Environmental Protection Agency said that there was no proper listing in the labels, or not even disclosed. That even from those toxic ones, maybe for two products, maybe there was 1 or 2 of the toxic things that could be possibly harmful to the health listed, but the others weren't. So there was no regulation per se, and that's shocking. Shocking in the sense that you're told to read your labels, but then your label's not even properly labeled. You see what I'm saying? So, back to basics is my motto. Fresh fruits, detox them with thieves cleaner, or put them in 15 minutes in the baking soda with water to detox from all that impurity, waxes, and all that stuff that they added to make it look beautiful. That's another way to go. But it was shocking to see that there was no regulation as to, you should put in the label everything that goes in that bottle. So for all we know, it could be even disguised with another word that we are familiar with, and that we will say, oh, it's okay. Okay? The Consumer Product Safety Commission, which regulates the cleaning supplies, the air fresheners, all the stuff, again, that we use at home, currently does not require, and that was in 2011. Now, I can't remember what I read about the current information, but I mean, if nobody says anything, then there's no changes. But back then, it did not require manufacturers to disclose, listen to this, to disclose any ingredients on the labels. So there was no such thing. I mean, they were not really required to put anything. And so if the consumer doesn't say anything, and stops buying things that are not healthy, then there's it's the supply and demand. If you keep on getting it, they're still gonna keep on making it. So we have to kind of make our voice be heard, and one of the ways is to making changes in our household, and another way is to stop purchasing what they're making, and use alternatives for those things. Obviously, as time has progressed, there might not be things that you can change or swap for, but you're just gonna try your best, because it's your family's health, and I know that you love your family. The same is true for fragrances and the personal care items. Okay, so and this personal care items is overseen by the Food and Drug Administration, the FDA. So again, we can be reading the label that it says pumpkin spice, but you just like the title and you buy it because it says pumpkin spice. Then what is behind that pumpkin spice? What creates pumpkin spice? What was it needed to create that pumpkin spice? Okay. So back then, the Household Product Labeling Act was an act. So this is it was an eye opener because I didn't even think that the Senate had to do with this, but I'm not into politics. But hey, that act had been under review under the Senate. So have that in mind too. It is not a joke. If the Senate or the government is involved, and these websites that I'm telling you about are .gov, which are basically known to to be a verified source, it's just shocking to me. Also, the Steinman said that she received hundreds of letters, phone calls, emails from people reporting issues. And the issues that we talked about in the previous video, they're very similar to what this person got. It was from issues from respiratory, dermatological, neurological, and it affected children. It caused them to have seizure after exposure to certain things. Adult passing out after using air fresheners. She said, and then let's see what else. So she's just encouraged to make a note of people's voices, and which I thought it was very good of her to say, listen to people, because people are the voices. And so let's be conscious about this. I already went over my time, but let's be conscious about this, and let's be aware of what we're using in our household, and be open to making switches. Again, don't go nuts, don't go bananas trying to make switches 100%. If you're that type of person that feels like you have to do it right away, well, go ahead, by all means. Nobody can stop you. But if you are like thinking, oh my gosh, it's going to be drastic to change, there's going to be a lot of expenses, okay, think about it again. I'm going to tell you this. Think about it. How much is your health worth? When? And think about it. You don't really need to make extra expenses. You just need to swap out. And maybe you're going to feel it at the beginning a little bit, because obviously you have products maybe that at home, like, air fresheners or whatever you have at home that you want to swap out. Maybe they're almost full and you don't want to get rid of them because you spend money on it, right? Well, think about it. You're getting rid of something that can potentially cause you harm. Do you want to keep it, or you want to throw it away? Do you want to, just for that time frame, spend a little bit more, and then continue, and then monthly just keep on swapping? Or do you want to continue and have potential issues in your household or wherever you're at, your office, where you work, whatever? That is some things that you have to consider, and I really urge you to be conscious about it. I don't know. It seems like this topic is kind of like, I don't know, how do I say it? Too educational. But again, educational, my motto was, knowledge is power. And so I'm equipping you and sharing with you a little bit of what I've learned, and giving you the power to make your choices. It's all about choices. So whatever we choose right now. And sometimes if you're like me, I think that sometimes I've thought myself, oh, well, I'm those type of people that don't get sick. Honestly, I don't. I've been blessed with that. It's really rare that I do get sick. But my family can tell you, everybody can get sick in my household except me. It's a benefit on that, but that can create myself. If you're like me, you're gonna understand what I'm saying. That can create in myself a sense of it's never gonna happen to me, and so you're never gonna do none of that switch or anything. But reality is that just because I am not susceptible to getting sick or whatever for whatever things that I can smell or I can use or whatever, doesn't mean that along the road it's not gonna hit me. It will hit me. And the reason I can tell you this is because in my personal experience, when I was younger, before 30s, hey, all was a breeze. I would go out with, out in the cold, I care less, and wouldn't get sick, and I would see other people doing the same thing and getting sick. I was like, wait, how did this happen? But I hit 30s and bang, that day I got a lesson taught that I'm not invincible, that I am a human, and that I can get sick. It just might take me a little bit longer. And the thing is that when it takes longer, sometimes sickness comes in and heavier attacks. So why be working on how to fix this thing? Well, I can prevent it, and that goes for me. I mean, what I'm telling you right now, it backfires to me, because I can't be assuming that because I don't get sick, I don't need to do anything. I do, and I need to be more proactive about it. And so I want you to be more proactive with me. So thank you so much for your time. I know I went over the time, but if you have any questions, comments, please comment below. I will look forward to putting more posts in the coming days, and keep up the good work. Keep finishing up your units. You're doing great. And share with other people. Share with them. There's still time for them to do this. I mean, you will bless them in so many ways. This is not about a company. This is not about a sales pitch. This is not about that, guys. This is about life. This is about your life. This is about your family. This is about all these units were created to make you aware. That's all. And you make your choices. In hopes that making your choices, you can have the best company on your side. And I'm telling you this because you might be thinking, oh, well, this is just like a sales pitch. You guys want me to buy more of Young Living. Of course, why not? I mean, let me tell you the truth. Yeah, buy more from Young Living. Why not? What are you losing? I think in the opposite of that is that you're gaining more health, and you're gaining it with the right company. So these were not created as a sales pitch to get you more interested into sales. No, guys, this was more created for you guys to be open to your choices, to open up and see what you can do to do a wellness in your household, to do preventive instead of trying to fix things like crazy at the end. And not so. Out of that, thank you so much for your time. Have a great day, and hope to see you until the end, which is December. So I'll be learning with you guys too. All right? Take care. Bye-bye.